Purdue is 2-0 for the first time in 4 years, topping Ball State and Southern Illinois. Among the notable notes from those two games, they've scored 14 first-quarter points in both outings. They had 13 first-quarter points total last year. Barry Odom doing something no Purdue head coach has done in more than 100 years, starting his tenure at 2-0. Our big interview today, Odom with Ashley Adamson.
Coach, first and foremost, congratulations on the 2-0 start. I know you're getting ready for a very talented USC team that's coming into town, but before we go there, now that you've got 2 games under your belt, what has stood out most to you about this group?
Yeah, I think number one, we're excited to be 2-0 2 weeks in. So we've made progress. I think really in every position group played better week 2 than we did week 1. There were some things that, we started the season so fast, offense, defense, and kicking in the first game, almost like really to the script on how it could have started, went about to plan there, which was fun to see. The guys were excited about that. They executed really well. And then the next game offensively kind of really picked up where we left off that first week. Defensively struggled a little bit early on, but then after the first 2 series kind of settled down and things slowed down for them. I think we've got to be really good at complementary football as this continues, as we grow this team on the things that we've got to do. We've been able to take care of the ball. We've turned it over one time. We got to start getting it back on defense. We haven't done that yet. We've been solid in special teams. So, and then the penalties, I've been pleased with the lack of penalties that we've committed. So our plan to win, we're going to continue to work on those things. The field position, starting point, special teams, how great can we be? Taking care of the football, being able to run the ball is so important, being able to stop the run. Those things will be our plan to win.
Yeah, and I mean, of all the stats, and there's a lot of them, but the penalties allowed was one that definitely jumps off the page when you look at, and I think number 2 in the nation in terms of fewest penalties given up so far 2 weeks in. I know also all the belief is such an important part of football. And so for the guys who hadn't been able to celebrate a win in over a full year, what have you seen in the locker room just from a confidence perspective and what you've been able to build the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because every team's so different, right? And this one, there's still some guys that were here last year. So I think early on there was a little bit of feeling out, so to speak, in a lot of ways, not just playing winning football, but just, a new year, a new opportunity, some of those things, and you learn from your experiences. So, I was excited to see them celebrating in the locker room after the first win. I mean, I know that was a long time coming, especially for the home crowd. To be able to feel that, the excitement, they've been tremendous the first 2 weeks, and all the different things that go into that. It's been a lot of fun to see, and I understand how passionate the fans are for Purdue, and I'm excited to be able to provide a winning product for them.
And they are eager and hungry for it. I think when Ross-Ade Stadium is rolling, the cannon, the train horn, the student section sort of right on top of you, it's one of the great atmospheres in college football. Has there been a game day tradition, something that you've noticed that has stood out to you most as you've experienced it?
I think the student section here has just been unbelievable. I mean, it's remarkable. They're in, as soon as they open the gates at the 90-minute mark, the place is full completely. The students, they've been awesome. They're smart football fans because they get loud when they're supposed to get loud. They cheer when they're supposed to cheer. That's been a lot of fun to have them on our side. And I agree with you, Ross-Ade, when done right, and you're playing winning football, it can be one of the toughest environments in college football.
Well, I know the Ross-Ade Brigade is going to be going nuts on Saturday. Let's talk about this Big Ten opener against obviously a very talented USC team. I know you have said, Coach, at every turn that you treat every week as a nameless, faceless opponent, but there is one very familiar face that you will be seeing on the opposite sideline. Tell us about your relationship with the quarterback at USC, Jaden Mayava.
Yeah, number one, I think Coach Riley's done a great job building this roster and, recruiting and the ways that they're built. They're solid at every single position. I mean, they're averaging 66 points in the first couple of weeks. So they're explosive. They're playing aggressive on defense. They got a lot of athletes in every situation. Very well coached. Jaden was my quarterback at UNLV my first year there. He led us to 9 wins and is a terrific competitor, a wonderful, wonderful person. It hurt when he left because I was so close with him. And as you know, you go over the years and all the players have had a chance to coach. You certainly don't want to lose one, and then you even more so you don't want to have to compete against them. That's hard, but we'll be connected forever. I've got a lot of respect for him, love him and his family. You know, we'll have a really good game plan. I know he will. I know how he prepares, and he'll be ready to go. I wish him great success, other than 4 hours on Saturday.
That's fair enough. I love that. And there's familiarity again on both sides. Your offensive coordinator, Josh Henson, just came from USC, so he knows Lincoln Riley's offense inside and out. I'm just curious, like, how does that change sort of the chess match when both sides know in some ways what the other is thinking and what the strengths and weaknesses are?
You know, I think you look at that, and I don't know. I don't think I'm unique to this situation, but every year with the coaching changes and now even roster movement, you know, some players that familiar with both sides in whatever way or context. I just try to get all the information we can to find a way to give our team an edge, some way, somehow, even if it's one small thing that gives us a little bit of an edge. I'm going to try to get all the information I can, process it on what we need. Don't overload them with useless information, but there's always ways to find and create advantages for your team. And with the familiarity that Coach Henson has with this side, a little bit more personnel driven than anything, because he's been part of recruiting a number of the guys and then knows the roster. We do a deep dive and help each other out on both sides every single week. This one's been a little more deliberate because he knows so much about each individual player.
Well, I think one of the obvious advantages that you have on your team is your running back. I know you had a pretty good idea of the player that you were getting in Devin Mockobee when you came to Purdue, but what have you learned about him now that you've gone through 2 games as he continues to just climb up those record books at Purdue?
Yeah, I think the thing that has stood out to me, and really over the years, anybody that has had success over their college career, there's a number of factors that go into that. And Devin's the same way. He's very consistent. He's such a hard worker. The team and the organization trust him, and that's a strong word, but they just know he's going to go get his job done. He cares about this place with great passion and energy, and every single day in practice, he carries the ball or makes the block or on special teams. I mean, he has the 4th and 1 mentality in everything that he does, that his back's against the wall and he's got to find a way to have success, and we're going to keep feeding him the ball.
So much of us, we're all products of our environment on some level. Your dad, Bob, was a teacher and a high school football coach, from what I understand. What was the biggest thing you've learned from him that you still use today?
Well, he as the years go on, he's better now than he was ever then, and I understand how that goes. I think really I was really fortunate in our house growing up. Both parents were this. They were loving, number one, but also they set a standard on what our family was going to be, kind of an expectation of representing something bigger than ourselves within our community, and very thankful for that. And I look back and there's times that I catch myself saying something as a dad, and like that almost sounded like the house that I grew up in. So I've learned and continue to pass that on.
We all end up sounding like our parents at some point. Just a couple last things and then we'll let you go. After your first win, the very first person that you thanked on the field was your athletic director, and Mike Babinski. Can you share just what his vision has meant in helping you start to build what you believe is possible at Purdue?
Absolutely. And it goes back to our first conversation we had when there was interest in the job. Everything that Mike has said, he has followed through with. And I think that becomes more rare and rare these days in what that looks like. But he's very stoic in his leadership. He's provided a platform for us to be successful. Everything that we have asked for or needed, he's followed through with and found a way to get it done. And when you have alignment and vision in leadership roles, then things seem to happen a lot faster. And I'm so thankful for that. And he's been there every single step of the way. And I want to turn Purdue football into a winning program for a lot of reasons. One of them is because of Mike Babinski and his leadership.
Yeah. I love that. All right. Well, thank you for the time. I'm going to leave you with one trivia question if you're up for that. So it's been a great start. You're 2-0. Do you know the last time that a Purdue head coach won his first 2 games?
1916, Coach Cleo.
I knew you would know that.
I got a good sports info department.
Of course you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time. Women couldn't even vote the last time that a Purdue head coach. So we've all come a long way. Coach, it's great to see you. Thanks for the perspective and the time. Purdue, USC, Big Ten opener, 3:30 on CBS. We're excited to watch you.
Great to see you guys. Bowler up.
Well, that schedule does get decidedly more difficult for Odom and company, starting with that matchup Saturday against SC. Then they go to Notre Dame. They get a bye before hosting Illinois. They travel to Minneapolis. They still have Michigan, Ohio State, Washington, Indiana as well. 9 bowl teams from last year, including the 2 that played for the national championship. So not easy for Barry Odom.